Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. Before we get started into the podcast, I kind of have to talk about something a little bit. A group of my friends went to Denver, Colorado over Labor Day weekend, and unfortunately, they were involved in a hit and run. They were on the receiving end of the hit and run, and one of the members, Chris Patton, he unfortunately passed away due to someone else's ignorance and someone else's unmoral doings. Another one of my friends, Sacho Jogi, was left in critical condition, um, but thankfully is alive to this day. If you guys could please help me and please help my friends. In the description down below, there'll be a GoFundMe link. All proceeds will be going towards Chris's funeral and memorial. It will mean so much to me if you guys could fundraise as much as you can. Um, Even though I have never met Chris before, I thought I'd take it upon myself to virtually and film and in order of a way to support my friends in time of losing a brother. One of my friends within that group, Denzel Perry, knew Chris for a majority of his life, I believe, and introducing Chris to my other friends, Dez and Satch. They got along really well, and it's very unfortunate for all of them to be experiencing this in this time of crisis. So again, guys, link in the description below for the GoFundMe. Again, all of the proceeds will be going towards uh, Chris's funeral and memorial. It's a really big time to help the family. And for me, it's a big time to just help and support my brothers in their time of need and in their time of healing. So. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to our podcast, The Gameplan. First and foremost, Chris, if you have any news from different leagues around the nation, let's hear them.
We got a lot of news in the past couple of days. We do have the news of Clowney, Jaron Clowney. He finally signed with the team. He is now with Titans. We also have a few opt-outs in college football coming out of Oregon with Penny Swelly, offensive tackle of Oregon. And also, we have Thomas Graham Jr. also opting out to prepare for the draft. So then we talked about in our last pod, Giannis, they officially are out of the playoffs with the Bucks, and he publicly said that he is not requesting any trades, but teams are still going to be looking into that. LBJ makes NBA history, becoming the highest career wins as a player in the NBA. And Japanese World Cup winner Yoki Nagasato is joining the men's club. I'm gonna butcher this name, Hayabusa 11 in Japan. So she'll be the first woman ever to play in a men's league. Then we also have news of some players getting paid. Jalen Ramsey is now the highest paid cornerback, and over in Arizona, we have DeAndre Hopkins being the highest paid non-quarterback. We also have reports that the NBA season for 2021 will be pushed back to at earliest Christmas Day.
Thanks, Chris. That's actually kind of interesting that first woman ever to play professionally in a men's league is within Japan. I think that's really interesting. Thank you, though. Today, guys, we're pleased to have another guest within our podcast. To reiterate, Kris and I wanted to have more of our friends on the podcast in order to bring on their perspectives and within the world of sports. We want our friends to talk about themselves and not only their lives, but just how much sports has impacted them in a general sense. Aside from catching up in the midst of a global pandemic, we want our friends to take a stab at the different exciting news revolving around the world of sports. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our great friend, Mike Wegner.
Hey guys.
Hey Mike, how's it been up in California?
It's good. Yeah, surviving. Smoky.
Was it as dark as everyone said yesterday?
Yeah.
Like, was it orange?
Yeah, the sky was bright orange. It was hard to take pictures, but it was pretty spooky.
would you consider it like the apocalypse weather if you had to picture it?
Yeah, partially. I'd say it was definitely apocalyptic.
I saw like some pictures on Instagram and it said like at 10 a.m. it was as dark as nighttime just with all like the light illumination within San Fran. I was like, damn, that's really bad.
Yeah, pretty much. I woke up probably like 9 o'clock and like it's like, what time is it? It looks. I look outside. I was like, oh man, it's orange.
Yeah, that's crazy. So how you been during the pandemic? Like, what have you been doing to keep yourself busy?
Um, Honestly, not too much. Me and my girlfriend did a lot of puzzles for the first couple months, and then that kind of got boring. But I've made a couple trips up to Tahoe and spent some time with my family, and
Nice,
so just hanging out.
nice. So me and Kris had a different relationship with you when we first met at Stanford. I don't particularly remember first meeting you. Um, I think it was during a football setup. I don't actually remember. But
Yeah, that sounds about right.
do you
Probably for
recall?
me, it was track setup.
No, for
No?
you, from what I remember, it was Pro Football Day
Oh
or
my,
Timing
Was
yes.
Day
it?
setup.
Yes,
Or,
it
it was
was.
a setup for that.
Yeah, now I
Yeah,
remember.
Yeah.
and I think we kind of ditched you, and I felt a little bad, but
Hey, I was a new guy at the time.
We all have to get through it somehow. Can you like just go about like how like working with us kind of feels like in different retrospect of me and Kris?
um, well, I will say, talking with Kris, I learned obviously where he's from and Bay Area, whatever, and just kind of, I think, got to know him more through sports than anything.
Mhm.
Uh, which I mean, for me personally, I try to do that because sports are my number one interest.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I guess getting to know both of you is definitely different. Because Micah, did you play sports
Yes,
in
I
high
did.
school?
Yeah, I did.
And you
I
did at have you played at Menlo?
No, aside
Okay,
from just playing intramurals, no.
right. Okay, so that's we're pretty much on the same page there.
Yeah,
Uh, Probably big high school athletes, but
didn't
not
get it.
so much in college.
No, no. It was kind of funny. During high school, I did football, basketball, and track and field. And then after my junior year, I stopped doing sports because I had to focus more on my academics. But when I went to my college, and I'm pretty sure this is true for all three of us, I kind of wanted to make a career out of working in sports and just being more interconnected within, the inner workings of sports rather than just playing the sport itself.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
yeah. So you grew up in Nevada. Specifically, where did you grow up in Nevada?
I grew up in Incline Village, which is in Lake Tahoe,
Hmm.
North Lake Tahoe, probably about 5 minutes from the California border.
How was the how was the sports scene around in your area?
Um, it was very small.
Hmm.
My high school was only like 300-ish kids
Holy shit.
total. Yeah, so we had a pretty small school. Football team. When I played, we only had one team, varsity, and it was a struggle trying to get players to even come out.
Hmm.
Um, and then for wrestling, my first 2 years we had a full team.
Hmm.
We had a coach change and came out for practice, if you will, for first practice for junior year. We had about 4 guys, and that trickled down to just me
Oh shit.
after the first week.
Everyone quit after the first week.
Everyone quit.
Oh
Yep.
my god. I
And
think
so
I think the funny
I was the only
story
one.
was my first um, gymnastics shift. I don't know if you remember this, but Ian Ballantyne was still there, and we just set up the floor. And you're like, "Is anyone ready to wrestle?" And then Ian comes by and he's like, "I'm ready, Mike." I think that's probably the
That,
funniest memory from like 2 years ago.
yeah, that was pretty funny.
I didn't know you were a wrestler though.
Yeah, yeah, I wrestled all 4 years of high school.
Nice.
I
What weight
placed
class?
my freshman year. I was 103 pounds, nice and big. And then I wrestled 112, 120 or 119, 120, and then 126 my
Oh,
senior
nice.
year.
Your senior year. What
And
did
now I'm fat.
I can relate to that a lot. My freshman year of high school, I weighed about 150, and then every year from there up to my junior year, I gained 10 pounds each year. That was from just lifting and working out a lot. Then my senior year, after I gave up sports, I just ballooned.
Mm-hmm.
I gained about 50 pounds within the second semester of my
Man.
senior year, and I was just very unmotivated at that time. But yeah, I understand where that comes from. What outside of the physical part of wrestling, what did wrestling teach you uh, to incorporate in your regular life?
Well, there's a great quote. I can't remember who it is at the moment, but they said, "Once you've done wrestling, everything else in life comes easy."
Hmm.
Um, so honestly, like just digging deep because you're not going to be winning all the time. You're not going to be like you're going to be on your back, and in life, you're going to be on your back. You need to figure out how to get off your back and get up. So wrestling really taught me just how to persevere and dig through and just keep going no matter what.
Nice. What I don't know if there's different. Are there different conferences in Nevada for your school districts?
Yeah. So I was in the second smallest
Mm-hmm.
since we had a really small school. And then
Mm-hmm.
for wrestling, they actually combined the smallest in ours.
Mm-hmm.
So it was double A and they put
Yeah.
double A and triple A together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sorry, double A and single A together.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really small, like for football games. So we had to drive 5-6 hours sometimes for
Oh, jeez.
games
Mm-hmm.
just because they're the small schools and
Mm-hmm.
someone had to play them. So
Yeah.
that was
Uh,
us.
um, was wrestling like an open, like basically open tournaments where anyone could join within Nevada, or was it just set to your division?
Yeah, so most tournaments, in fact, pretty much all tournaments except for regionals and state
Mm-hmm.
were just all over.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrestled kids that were from the big schools, like
Mm-hmm.
Reno schools and uh, even Bay Area schools. Sometimes we
Oh.
traveled down to the Bay Area, and sometimes they would come up to us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we wrestled. I mean, as far as our weight classes, it was just whatever school wants to come. If they have a guy in that weight class,
Oh, nice.
you can
Uh,
wrestle him.
did you ever meet someone from Bishop Gorman, which is one of the biggest schools in Las Vegas?
Um, no, I did see them wrestling at state.
Mm-hmm.
I never wrestled against anyone from Bishop Gorman, and I never really. Our coaches always kind of didn't want us talking to other teams because
Mm-hmm.
they always were scared that they'd try to get some insight. But I never actually talked to really anyone from Bishop Gorman.
Mm. So after high school, you went ahead and flown over to Arizona State, from being an athlete in sorry in Nevada to basically going one of the best party schools on the West Coast and in the Pac-12. Tell me about that experience and how sports is kind of seen through the eyes of just a regular student going to ASU.
Yeah, ASU was pretty cool. Um, obviously, a lot of partying, but I honestly tried to stay away from like the big parties too much. But sports was awesome. I really enjoyed going to like football games. The crowds were great. Basketball games were great. Even baseball games were fun to go to.
Hmm.
And then I wish I'd started working in sports
Hmm.
sooner.
Yeah.
I ended up not really working until my senior year with football equipment staff,
Hmm.
and I really enjoyed that. And I kind of wish I had gotten into it sooner, but it is what it is. And yeah,
And Mike, after you finish at Arizona State, what was your major again? Just
my major was sports business and media studies.
sports business. You moved on to the Oakland Raiders. You came out here and started working there and started working at Stanford. How did that came to be? Like, how do you move from?
So I actually started working at Stanford first.
Mhm.
My cousin um, works in sports and has worked for University of Texas, and I think she's now at Boston College. So I reached out to her and was like, "Hey, any chance you have any friends or have an opportunity that I can get on with?" And she introduced me to Dan Levine at Stanford, and then he passed my name on to Ian Ballantyne, and that's how I kind of ended up at Stanford. And then once I was here, I was working with I don't know if either of you worked with Kat Peterson.
No.
So she was at the Raiders at the time and had told me like, yeah, if you, and I knew several guys and girls have already worked there that were at Stanford,
Mhm.
including Tyler Barton. And she pretty much said like, yeah, if you want a job, like let me know and we can set you up for an interview. And I ended up interviewing and got the position, and then Kat left right after that. So she would have been my direct supervisor had she not left, but she ended up getting another job, and yeah, and worked for the Raiders for 2 seasons.
So, what was your official position for the Raiders?
I was an entertainment, or sorry, game day entertainment representative.
Oh, so you didn't really work with the actual athletes outside of the games.
No, however, I was very fortunate to be put on backpack, which I was not sure what that was going to be when I
Hmm.
first got there, and lo and behold, I was carrying a backpack that had batteries and stuff for the camera guys
Hmm.
that walk around and uh, shoot the fans either from the field or up in the stands.
Hmm.
And I just carried the batteries and walked around with them and helped them out with whatever they needed.
Nice. So, Raiders Nation, to say, is a bit hectic over 40, the 49ers fan base. How was how was the game day like at Raiders? I'm sorry, at Oakland Coliseum, and could you compare it to something? Can you compare it to like another fan base within within sports?
Um, yes, I can because well, so I grew up cheering for the Raiders because my mom was a Raiders
Hmm.
fan, and as you can see, I cheered for the Eagles as
Hmm.
long as possible. I would say both of those fan bases are very similar as far as passion for their teams and hate for the other teams. Um, I mean, it can be civil as much as possible, but when it comes to loving their teams, I think that those two are probably the top of the NFL at least.
Hmm. How do you feel about the most recent move of the Raiders moving to Las Vegas? Um, do you think you would want to pursue a career within Las Vegas and working for the Raiders there, or do you think that relationship and that journey is kind of come to a halt?
Um, as far as right now, I'd say kind of still halt. However, I would love to move to Vegas and
Hmm.
work for the team. Um, I'd prefer, obviously, to have a full time gig with them.
Yeah.
But I think I've always loved the Raiders. I've always loved football. Um, I mean, the team moved to my home state. However, it's farther than where I grew up,
Yeah.
but it's still in my home state, which I think is pretty awesome. And
Hmm.
I would definitely love to work there again one day.
Well,
Uh,
Mike, you
oh,
just brought up the topic that you're also a Phillies fan. And I can see that in your background with all the
Yeah.
other Phillies team. How did that blossom? Like, was it family or?
Yeah. So my dad was born and raised in Philadelphia. He's a huge sports fan, and uh, ever since I was a little kid, uh, watched games with him, whether it be Phillies, Eagles, Flyers, Sixers sometimes, not as much, but yeah, I just grew to love the city and their teams.
out of all four of those teams, which one is your most favorite?
the winning one.
So the Eagles.
Yeah. Well, it really varies on day to day. I I don't know if I can really narrow it down. I've always loved football. I think football is probably my favorite sport, other than lacrosse, which I grew up playing. But yeah, I'd say probably the Eagles.
And you bring up a great point. I was gonna put this on our little script, but you said you play lacrosse all your life, and I know that you referee lacrosse.
Yep.
And being through that position, have you felt kind of the backlash of being a ref, and like how some fans are and outspoken and saying, you know, you need to call this call, and they think they know better than you? Um,
So yeah, I would say before I started reffing, I kind of was one of those people, and just say like, open your eyes. How do you miss that kind of thing?
Yeah.
And after reffing, I will definitely admit that it's a lot harder than it seems to be, especially when you're watching stuff on TV. It's a lot easier to see things than it is even 2 feet away from someone, because angles are everything. And yeah, I mean, and I think after reffing, it kind of made me realize when I'm watching sports that it's like, how do you miss that? And then I kind of think, okay, yeah, maybe I'm a little harsh on that umpire or referee. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're all human and we all make mistakes. And when in the heat of the moment, you get angry, but you kind of just have to realize we're all human.
Yeah. So moving on, you've told us a lot of times that you have a house in Tahoe, right?
Yeah, that's where I grew up. My parents still live there.
And you also have a Saint Bernard.
I do.
What is that kind of relationship like with a big dog, and knowing just how much energy he has? Like, how do you compensate that with like a day to day with
First off, we need the name of the dog.
that is
Okay,
true.
first off, it's a female.
Oh,
Her name is Trixie.
Aw.
She is our 4th Saint Bernard.
jeez.
Wow.
So the first 2 were males. The first one, Ralph, was 170 pounds. Our second was Norton. He was 180 pounds.
Sheesh.
And then we had Alice, who was 120. And now we have Trixie, who's like 70. She's a lot smaller.
How old is she?
She just turned 3
Still a baby.
a couple months ago. Yeah, so she's a baby. She's crazy, probably the most energetic dog we've ever had. But yeah, I love her. She loves to swim. She's loves to fetch, which none of our other dogs have ever done those. And yeah, she just is rambunctious and full of energy. And she's probably one of the biggest chickens ever.
One of our friends, Fritz Roth, he has a English bulldog named Winston. Have you introduced Trixie to Winston, or no?
No, they haven't met yet. That would be great. Hopefully someday. Maybe next time my dad brings her down here, we can introduce them. But I know Winston's also a little territorial.
Yeah, he is.
Like to growl.
Yeah. So Kris brought up a good point, or we all did, that you are a big Philly sports fan. With a lot of recent news within the past couple of years, kind of want to get your thoughts on a few of these sports moments. First, the firing of Brett Brown as Philadelphia 76ers head coach. Where do you think the head coach position will go, and who do you think would be a best fit for the 76ers?
Well, first thing I'll say is I'm not against the Brett Brown firing. I think he was a very good coach and the perfect man for the start of the process rebuild.
Yeah.
And I think he just didn't get the 2 superstars and how to use them properly together.
Yeah.
With that, honestly, I've heard Ty Lue is one of the front runners to take the job, and I'm a little skeptical about that. I honestly don't think he was that great of a coach with the Cavaliers. I thought LeBron James really coached that team, and if LeBron wasn't there, they wouldn't have been what they were.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I don't, and not to say that Ty Lue isn't a good coach. I just don't think he's suited for a head coaching job per se. Um, with Billy Donovan leaving Oklahoma City,
Mhm.
I think that would be a very good fit for the Sixers, especially since he did coach Al Horford in college.
Mhm.
Uh, Brett Brown wasn't able to necessarily get too much out of Horford this year. At least not as he wasn't as big as he was in the previous couple of years with the Celtics. And I think Billy Donovan would really be able to get him back to the all-star level that he can play as and work with Embiid and Simmons and everyone else.
Yeah. I've touched upon the 76ers a lot, both in just in general and on the podcast. My problem with them is they're really big as a team. And with the way that the NBA is going, it's a lot of small ball. Um, what do you think the future of the 76ers are position wise, and who do you think they should sign over free agency, and who do you think they should draft? Basically, what positions do they need to fill in order to kind of match the speed and intensity of today's NBA?
Well, I'd say I think they did a good job couple of years ago with the Markel Fultz decision.
Hmm.
I obviously it didn't pan out, and they kind of tried to change his shooting and it mess with his head and whatnot. And obviously we're past that, but I think that we do need to get the Sixers need to draft a true point guard
Hmm.
because Ben Simmons is a great ball handler, and but I don't see him as a true point guard, and I don't think his game's gonna get that much better if he's continuously put in that situation where he has to bring the ball up every single time.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, I really like the Matisse Thybulle pick last year. I think he's a great defensive player and is getting better on offense.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know, man. I think they just really need a true point guard that can quarterback the team and get things going. Because I like Shake Milton too, but he's not a point guard. He's a
Hmm.
shooting guard,
Yeah. Do
and
you
he
think?
can't. Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish.
I was gonna say I don't think he'll facilitate the offense as well as other guys can that have grown up just playing point guard
Hmm.
every single day.
Yeah. Another thing is you guys have a very low depth of shooters on your team to say. I mean, you guys do have a good tendency of getting to the basket. Um, what, like you said, you need to draft a true point guard, but what do you think that they also need to go for some shooters in the draft or for free agency as well?
Most
And what?
definitely. Um, I think Tobias Harris was a second option.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously, I think, wanted to keep Jimmy Butler, and
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Butler didn't necessarily feel the same way.
Yeah.
So they ended up giving Tobias a lot of money, which good for him.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see him being like a knockdown 3-point shooter every single night. He
Mm-hmm.
has hot streaks and he has very bad cold streaks.
Mm-hmm.
I think we do. Think they need to draft some shooters and or get him in free agency. And it
Mm-hmm.
definitely hurt losing JJ Redick too.
That's true.
That was probably the biggest loss in my opinion, and maybe Jimmy Butler too. But I think JJ Redick was hands
Just a
down the
spot. Yeah.
worst loss we could have had for
Yeah.
shooting wise.
Yeah.
I actually want to talk about some breaking news that came out today
Oh.
involving the Eagles. Zach Ertz has been looking into a contract extension and had made public today that he said contract negotiations have stalled and he's playing this season as his possible last season in Philadelphia. What do you think of that, Mike?
Yeah, that's rough. I did see that. I really hope that they do end up signing him because in my opinion, he's top 3. You can say top 5, but I think he's top 3 tight end in the league. He's runs fantastic routes. He's got phenomenal hands, and he can throw some blocks. I think that they'll get the contract done. I know they wanted to work on some other stuff before him, especially since the Eagles do have almost their entire offensive line on the IR right now. But I think they'll get it done. It's just a matter of time, and they've got a whole season ahead to kind of figure things out.
Well, then we're moving on to more about the NFL. Going back to 2018-2019 season, you guys had kind of a quarterback battle between Carson Wentz and then the Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles. Who have you gone with if you were the GM? You're Harry.
I think I still would have gone with Carson Wentz. And that's because before he got hurt, he was having an MVP caliber season. He was clearly the front runner for the MVP before he got hurt. I know he's super injury prone, but they traded up to get that number 2 pick. They weren't just going to give up on him immediately. And I think last season, Carson Wentz really proved himself that he is the true starting quarterback. Nick Foles, as great as he was with the Eagles, and grateful that he was able to step in and win a Super Bowl and almost do it again the next year. But I think Nick Foles it's tough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, and I think he's kind of hasn't had the best success except for his first year with Philadelphia.
Can you bring us to what your feelings were during this championship run? Like that whole season?
Man, that season felt different. I'll say that. It felt different. I'd never felt like so confident in a team, and just the swagger they played with. Every game was just, the defense was flying around. The offense was scoring a bunch of points. I actually was at the game in LA when Carson Wentz went down.
Oof.
And that was when we won that game, we clinched the NFC East. And I remember walking out of the stadium, looking at my dad and my brother and saying, Nick Foles is going to win a Super Bowl. I said this team has Nick Foles is winning the Super Bowl. And
that was kind of a bold prediction right there.
It was, and I probably had a little too much to drink, but hey, drunken words are sober thoughts.
So what was your reaction when they actually did win the Super Bowl against probably one of the best teams in our generation, the New England Patriots?
Man, I just cried. I screamed. I went and watched the game up in Tahoe with my dad, and it was just surreal. Like I just broke down and cried. It was probably one of the happiest days of my entire life, if not the happiest.
What was one of your favorite plays during the Super Bowl? Probably both offense and defense.
Well, I think my favorite play has to be the strip sack.
Yep, that was my favorite play too.
Which just put the game away, and Brandon Graham is forever a hero in Philadelphia for getting to Brady, and that was honestly, you have to credit the New York Giants when they won the Super Bowl against Tom Brady and the Patriots the first time, when they put their defensive end inside, and that's exactly what the Eagles did, and it worked out just as well, and it disrupted their offensive line. It disrupted Brady on his timing, and kudos to Derek Barnett and Chris Long to get pressure on Brady and get that ball. But offense, I'd probably say either Corey Clements over the shoulder catch. He was in bounds. That play, and then Philly special.
The Philly special was pretty good.
Because
what do
Nick
you?
Foles
will
caught the
live
ball and
down.
Tom Brady didn't.
um, you you as many people did. You probably watched the trophy ceremony that following day or following week. What did you think of? I forget what Kelsey's name is.
Jason Kelsey.
Jason Kelsey. What do you think about his thought or his words in saying that everyone on his team was just doubted, especially the team in general, that they're the underdogs for the entire season?
What are we reading down?
That's all I got to show you.
That's it. That's all we need.
Okay.
That's a great answer. Right there.
His speech was awesome.
Mhm.
I mean, everything he said is so true, and it's so Philly because it's one of the. I mean, I'd say besides Cleveland, maybe Philadelphia is the biggest blue collar city there is.
Mhm.
And I mean, his speech said it all. Hungry dogs run faster. If you're hungry, you're gonna get it, and you have to put the work in.
Yeah.
Well, I want to bring to baseball. So you have the Phillies shirt behind you.
Yep.
Let's go with the biggest signing in the past couple of years, Bryce Harper. He was a former enemy playing up in Washington against you guys. What was your reaction when he signed with that club?
So the whole off season when they were talking about it, I had a lot of mixed feelings, and just was like, I don't know if we really want him. Is he past his prime? Is he gonna do what he's done with Washington,
Mhm.
or is he just gonna be a bust? I was happy that we did get him, and I was a little skeptical. So far, I think he's done a good job, and obviously started this season really hot and
Mhm.
was in the MVP talks early on.
Yeah.
Right now, he's kind of slumping, which is a bummer. But I mean, he really is I would say the voice in the locker room that kind of gets the guys going.
Mhm.
And it seems that way, especially, I mean, the Phillies need to sign JT Realmuto. Bryce Harper knows they need to sign JT Realmuto. He's not going to stop saying it.
Mhm.
And I think he's good for our team. And I think he's done a lot of good work so far.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this season. They're right now 2 games back of Atlanta to clinch the division. We have approximately 2-3 weeks left of MLB, and they're right now sitting in the 5th spot in the postseason standings. What do you think the chances are to go back to the World Series, which the last one was back in
2008.
2009?
2009, yes, when we
2009.
lost to the
That was
Yankees.
Boston in 09.
No, the Yankees
No.
won in 09. We lost to them. They need to figure out their bullpen situation. They've made some trades that I'm okay with. I'm glad that they got rid of Nick Pivetta. They brought in 2 veteran relievers from the Red Sox. But I mean, they're still giving up home runs. They're still giving up go-ahead hits. I think the offense is doing fine. Starting pitching has been pretty good. I mean, last week Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler had back-to-back shutouts.
Mhm.
And then we have Spencer Howard is an up-and-coming good young pitcher. Jake Arrieta is a seasoned veteran who sometimes is a hit or miss, literally. He's has some really bad games. Like a couple weeks ago, he gave up, I think it was 7 runs in the first inning to the first couple innings to the Braves, and we went down 10-0 and almost came back and won. But I mean, I think all in all, the bullpen needs to figure it out, and if they do that, I think they're just as good as anyone else in the league.
Well,
They have
looking
a
forward
real
to
chance.
seeing them. in October.
Fingers crossed, man. It's been a
Um,
long time since they've been in the playoffs.
Yeah, I kind of had a question regarding Bryce Harper. Not knowing his fielding numbers, do you think he would benefit the Phillies more just being a DH in the future?
Um, no, I don't. I think he's actually a pretty good fielder, and that was
Hmm.
definitely a big concern last year coming in.
Hmm.
He's made some very good diving catches, and he's made up a lot of ground um, on short fly balls and that stuff.
Hmm.
But I mean, with the whole league going with the DH now, I think it's actually a very good thing for him and JT, because it gives them a day off that they don't have to be out in the outfield or in the squat, and it gives them a chance just to kind of focus on hitting only and driving runs, and that's the biggest thing right now is that they need to get runs because their bullpen is not helping them out very much.
Thanks, Mike, on your opinions on the different sports news going around right now that we wanted to cover.
I do have one more question. I'm sorry
Yeah,
to
go
interrupt
ahead.
you, Micah. We have NFL kickoff tonight.
God damn you.
I just want to see your first reaction. What is the Eagles' record this season? I just kind of want to see what your.
Oh man.
17 games now. Just remember that.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
It's 17 this year. That's right. 17-0.
Oh God.
Okay, yeah, you're the year first.
I need to know who you're paying in order for that to happen.
Trust me, if I could pay someone for that to happen, I would. But I don't have that kind of money. No, I'd say 10 wins to 10-7.
Kris, to kind of flip that question on you, what are the Niners going?
Let's see, you said 17-game season, right, this year?
Do not say 17-0.
No, 16-1.
Oh God.
No, realistically,
it's okay as long as they don't win in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
like
that's
the
true.
Patriots.
Yeah.
Realistically, probably 13 wins.
That's a tough division.
It is a tough division.
It is.
It's going to be weird just having like 4 teams that could possibly all make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
We know in your division, it's always crazy, Mike.
Yeah, it's the Eagles and the Cowboys, and then the 2 basement teams.
Yeah.
I will say the Giants will probably be, if they're not that good this year, they'll be good next year. Because Saquon Barkley is just a freak, and I think Daniel Jones he has a good arm. It just depends on who can catch the ball.
Yeah.
And the Washington football team is.
That's going to be a story for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, we have this little recurring segment as we asked our last guest, Talton, to talk about. We have a list of 20 professional athletes that have either been born in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, or have been born near Philadelphia with some of these, or have played for Philadelphia teams. Kind of just want to get your personal opinion on each of these players and ranking them from 1 to 20.
Yeah. I will say you left off several favorites of mine, so I put them on my own list.
Yeah,
I added them to my own list.
Who did I leave? Just tell me.
No, I want the CBS surprise. Let's see.
Oh, okay, a surprise. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So for the list that you gave me.
Okay, for the list that I gave you.
I will start with number 20.
Okay, number 20.
And go down.
Okay.
Vince Papale. It's a great story. If you actually look up his stats, he didn't do anything. He had 1 catch in his career, and he had 2 fumble recoveries.
Okay.
And, I mean, he was a special teams player. It's a great story, but...
I just wanted to put it in there just for fun.
Oh, no, I got it.
Movie made out of him, all that.
Yeah. No, it's a great story. I love that movie. And Marky Mark. Number 19, I have Jameer Nelson. I'm not going to lie. I had to look him up. I didn't know who he was. I didn't grow up watching the NBA too much. But
For those that don't know, Jameer Nelson was a guard for the Orlando Magic and played with Dwight Howard.
Thank you, Micah.
No problem. I got you.
Orlando Magic.
I did. Yeah. Okay. He's born in Pennsylvania.
But you said Atlanta Magic.
I said Orlando.
You did say Atlanta.
Orlando. Go ahead. 18.
18, I have Markieff Morris. 17, I have Marcus Morris.
Oh God.
I don't like them. I don't like them at all. And I was looking at their stats, and they're
god awful.
really not that good.
No.
What they are pests. They are defensive pests. They're great defensive players when they want to be,
mm-hmm.
and they foul everyone.
They do.
Just even looking back last week to when he clearly stepped on Luka Doncic's bad ankle,
mm-hmm.
and then got ejected the next game.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. 16, I have Elena Deladon.
Elena Deladon?
Deladon, sorry. Not gonna lie, I also wasn't sure who she was and had to look her up.
WNBA player?
Seems like a very good WNBA player.
She is.
From what her stats are and
mm-hmm.
how long she's been in the league.
Yeah.
15, Mike Piazza. I hate the Mets. I hated Mike Piazza when he played there. I will give him credit. He was a very good catcher and just baseball player in general.
Okay.
14, I have Rasheed Wallace.
Really? Okay.
He was, like I said earlier, I did not grow up watching the NBA too much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I knew who he was. He's obviously a really good player, but
you know, when I actually look at this list, I totally forgot to add some Eagles players. I didn't want
Flyers.
And Flyers. Yeah, that's right.
That's okay. 13, I have Rocky Balboa.
Okay.
But, I mean, he'd be higher on the list if he was a real athlete. But I love Rocky.
He's got a trophy.
He's got a statue up. Yeah.
He has a statue up, against everyone else that lives in Philly and plays for Philly, actually.
Yeah, right.
12.
My next one is the Flying Hawaiian, Shane Victorino. I love Shane Victorino. Yeah, I love Shane Victorino. I've actually, when I worked in Reno for the Reno Aces, I was doing grounds crew, and Shane Victorino was playing for the Iowa Cubs at the time. This was 2016, so one of his last seasons in professional sports. And I walked by him and went, "What's up, Hawaiian?" And he just looked at me and was like,
"Who? What?
Who are you?" I do love Shane Victorino. And will be forever grateful for what he was able to do in the 2008 season and 2009 season and his time in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
11, I have Carly Lloyd.
Wow.
I'm not even the top 10.
Not even the top 10. Being one of the best, one of the greatest teams in U.S. history.
Okay, fair enough. If the Eagles want to sign her to kick, maybe she'll be higher up. It's tough with the other names you gave me, though.
There's a lot of good names. Now in the top 10. So
number 10.
Okay.
Who pushed Carly out of this?
Yeah, who pushed Carly out of this?
The dude that takes more charges than anyone. Kyle Lowry.
Wow.
That dude is an animal.
All right.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Syracuse alum, which is where both my parents went and my brother and sister went. Marvin Harrison.
Marvin, where are you? Oh, okay. Number 9. Okay. Number 8.
Number 8. I can't say I ever watched him play or watched him.
I think I know where this is going.
Perform. And I just know he was a beast. Is Joe Frazier.
Okay. I swear to God, if you have Mike Trout in your top 5, I'm going to be a little mad. Oh, God, it is there.
Number 7. I got Matty Ice.
Matt Ryan?
Matt Ryan.
Okay.
28-3.
Who?
Oh, God.
Was just.
Sorry, I had to bring it up.
It's okay. I don't care. I'm not a fan of.
He's not an Atlanta fan. Come on.
Atlanta. 6. I just have to put Bryce Harper there.
Where did I put Bryce? Where's Bryce? That's Mike Trout. Where's Bryce? Oh, there. I got him. Wow.
If
Okay.
Bryce Harper wins a World Series, he'll go up.
His goes okay.
But that's just for now.
Okay.
Mike Trout, number 5.
Okay, I saw it coming. All right.
Okay, Mike Trout.
I was gonna say if it beat these 4, I was gonna be like, I'm done. We're stopping this podcast now.
The last home Phillies game I went to was against the Angels, and it was the only series that Mike Trout has played in Philadelphia, and he got more cheers than any Philadelphia player that entire game. Every time he came up, he got a standing ovation.
I mean, if you're playing basically close to your hometown since he's from Delaware, I mean, you're obviously going to get...
from New Jersey.
New Jersey, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, he's from New Jersey?
Yep.
Oh, I mean, you're obviously going to get a home crowd crowd welcome.
I was really hoping that he would sign with the Phillies and be like, sorry, Angels, you're never going to win anything.
Oh, God. All right, number 4.
Number 4, I grew up despising this player.
Allen?
However, he's clearly one of the best ever, but 2001 kind of broke my heart. Kobe Bryant.
Keep going.
I just have to say, number 3 is Allen Iverson. He was one of the reasons I wore number 3. That's why he's number 3 on my list. He was one of the best players I've ever watched. Number 2, one of the only men to bring a championship to Philadelphia.
Okay.
Dr. J.
Okay.
Julius Erving.
And number 1.
And number 1 is the greatest basketball player of all time, Wilt Chamberlain.
Okay, we can also have another conversation on that later.
I think we saw a fight right there, Mike.
Hey, man, I will say this. Michael Jordan is the best of the 90s, period.
Well, yes. Okay.
Michael Jordan is... I mean, okay, if you could go back in time, or if you could see Michael Jordan play against Wilt Chamberlain, who do you think would win?
I mean, are we talking prime? Are we
both
talking
primes,
prime?
Both primes.
Obviously, Wilt Chamberlain.
Thank you.
But the greatest of all time obviously goes through generations and decades. So I kind of see what you're talking about. But I mean,
it's you can't really, to be honest. For me, like saying the GOAT, the greatest of all time, you can't do it. You can say like Bill Russell is one of the greatest of all times because he won
a championship to Philly though. When he played for Philly, he had to win with Elgin Baylor and Jerry West.
That's fair. That is fair.
Personally, I think they should.
But Wilt Chamberlain also has 100 points in one game.
That's true.
Like
and
they
second
changed
to him
the
is
game
Kobe
because
Bryant.
of Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, exactly. Wilt Chamberlain changed the entire game.
Michael Jordan, they changed the game for Michael Jordan.
They changed the game because of Wilt Chamberlain.
Okay.
And all right, you want to hear my?
I want to hear your list.
Players you left off.
Yeah.
My favorite Philly. My favorite Philly of all time, Jimmy Rollins.
Okay. Good one.
I love J-Roll. Always will, always have. Mike Schmidt. Don't know if you even know that name.
Nope.
Also Phillies. He was the...
Okay, disclaimer, I haven't watched baseball since... I haven't started watching baseball since probably 3 years ago. So...
Fair enough. Okay, it's fair. It's fair. Chase Utley.
I know who Utley is.
Also one of my favorite Phillies ever. Jamie Moyer, who grew up in Philadelphia, was actually at the World Series parade in 1980 and then was in the World Series parade in 2008. Big D Nick Foles. I don't know how you left him off that list.
Well, okay.
we had a whole conversation about him, man.
This list is made for people born there, but I couldn't find that many people born without treading.
Yeah, I know. Well, when you put Bryce Harper on there and Allen Iverson, I was like,
and when I put Shane Victorino too.
And Shane Victorino
and Julius Erving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
New York, that's why.
I've got Brian Dawkins,
Right? Oh yeah, I was gonna
B
put him.
Doc,
I was gonna put him.
my favorite safety probably ever. Him and Charles Woodson are kind of tied, even though Charles Woodson played corner for half his career.
Yep.
Donovan McNabb,
I was gonna put
just
McNabb.
because why not?
Yeah.
Here's a name you probably don't even know. Bernie Perrant.
No.
He's the
No.
Flyers goalie in the 70s, 74, 75 when they won the Stanley Cup. Another guy on that team was Bobby Clark. He was a captain.
I'm gonna have to look at these people now.
Eric Lindros was another Flyer who played in the 90s. It was just a filthy player. This guy I actually looked up, and he's from Philadelphia. I didn't know this. He never played for any Philly teams. It was Eddie George.
What did he play?
Where did he play?
Yeah.
He played at Eddie George played for, I want to say Georgia. No, it wasn't Georgia.
Well, what did
Ohio
he play?
State.
First of all?
Sorry.
Oh,
Football.
oh, football.
Sorry, he played at Ohio State. He was the first player to win back-to-back Heisman trophies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice.
He played for the Houston, Tennessee Oiler Titans, and then one season for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh God.
But yeah, he was just a freak running back. Ran guys over.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got 4 more pitchers for you.
God.
Doc Roy Halladay.
Doc Roy.
You didn't even add, oh my god.
Oh,
I did not go
oh my
with this
God,
list.
me! You could have added it to it too.
I
Okay.
honestly never looked at the list, so I'm sorry for
Exactly my point. I do all of this, and you don't
only
have
went up
anything.
to like the
Steve Carlton, who played in the 80s and won like 4 Cy Young awards.
Oh damn! All right.
Brad Lidge, who was the Phillies closer in 2008, who had 0 blown saves.
The last one.
And last one is Cole Hamels,
Cole.
who it still to this day upsets me to see him in an Atlanta Braves uniform.
Okay.
Yeah, he's never pitched for them because he's been injured.
Okay. Of the list of names you gave me, what do you rank these players?
Oh God,
This is why.
this is tough though.
Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15. Go with the 15th, and then let's go down like you did with my list.
All right. Number 15, I'll probably go with Jamie Moyer.
Jamie Moyer at 15. All right.
14, we'll say. It is tough too because there's some guys that I obviously never watched.
Yeah.
I just know their stats and was like, these guys are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
14, I'll probably go with Nick Foles.
Wow. 13.
13, probably Brad Lidge.
Brad Lidge. Where did I put? Okay, 13.
12. Man, this is tough. Eddie George.
Eddie George. 12. 11.
Woo. Let's say Doc Halladay.
Doc Roy Halladay. 11. Top 10.
Top 10. Number 10, Donnie Mack.
Donnie Mack.
Donovan McNabb.
Oh, I was like,
sorry,
who?
Donovan McNabb. Then I'll go with Bernie Perrant.
Bernie Perrant.
Oh
9.
wait, sorry. Did I say Eric Lindros yet?
Nope.
Oh, Eric Lindros there.
9.
Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
8.
Bernie Perrant.
7.
Bobby Clark.
6. I think I know what your number 1 is.
Steve Carlton.
6, 5.
Cole Hamels.
5, 4.
Chase Utley.
3.
Mike Schmidt.
All right, 2 and 1.
Oh man.
That's it right here.
This might make a lot of
man.
Philadelphia's fans very angry.
I don't know. Number 2, I think I have to say Brian Dawkins.
Wow, I thought yours was going to be your number 1.
I know. I grew up just idolizing Jimmy Rollins.
Both of our lists are. I was very surprised on some of these on my list. I'm pretty sure you had a hard time choosing from your list as well.
Yep.
But I like it. I like it a lot. I'll be sure to.
Let's hear yours.
For first, let's hear Chris's since he hasn't looked at this list yet. I'll write it off. So I'll just go down the names. Do you have the list up or no?
I do have the list up.
Okay, then give me yours.
Okay, so starting with 20.
20.
Okay. Oh man, half these names I barely recognize. I feel bad. I would go probably Jameer Nelson, as I have no clue.
Wow. All right. 20. You guys are going to be surprised by my list.
He's going to be number 1.
Yeah,
Watch.
he's gonna be number 1. Let's see. Let's go Vince Papali
at 19.
at 19.
Okay. 18.
18. No, I'll do it easy. 18 and 17 will be the Morris brothers.
You fucker.
So we have the same. Except for Nelson and Papali are
16.
16. Let's see. I'll probably go with the WNBA star.
You just copying Mike at this point?
No, Mike didn't send me a text of his list. I just
all right. 15.
15 would be Lowry.
Lowry. Oh, I thought you said Larry. I'm like, who the fuck is Larry?
Hey, Boom.
14.
14 would be Joe Frazier.
Okay. Do you know who Joe Frazier is?
No.
Probably one of the greatest boxers of all time.
Yeah. Down goes Frazier. That was when Muhammad Ali knocked him out.
Yeah. Let's see.
13.
Who did I say? Jameer Nelson already?
Yep.
Okay.
That was your number 20.
So long ago. Probably Shane Victorino.
We already know Mike is going to put him number 1.
Oh, I'm not.
At least top 5.
Wait, what number was that? 13?
13.
Okay. 12. Oh my God, I'm sneezing too much.
12, Marvin Harrison.
Wow. Surprised you got Rocky Balboa.
Colts receiver.
Gone this far.
Oh, he was actually number 11.
Oh, God. All right, top 10.
Top 10. So I'm going to put Matt Ryan.
Wow. Okay.
Let's see. Love. Wait, did I already say Wallace?
No.
No. I recognize the name. I can't remember replacement. Put him 9.
You don't know
Rasheed Wallace?
You don't know who Rasheed Wallace is?
He played for the Pistons when they won the championship against the Lakers.
And he stopped the 4
He's just for the Lakers. Bad man.
Yeah.
You do not want to cross paths with him.
He's the one that created Ball Don't Lie.
He's honestly like a modern day Morris brother. If
Yeah.
the Morris brothers could score.
Yeah. 8.
8. We'll go Mike Piazza.
Mike Piazza. All right. 7.
7. Bryce Harper.
Okay. 6.
6. I'm gonna put Charlie Lloyd.
Carly, not Charlie.
Charlie. How do I add an H?
5. Oh my God. This list is looking rough.
You put me on the spot here, like.
Mike put me on the spot. I have to think first, so I had to.
So you threw me under the bus.
Yeah.
Let's put Allen Iverson.
Wow. All right. 5.
Greatest ball handler of all time, man.
He never practices. Come on. We need someone like that.
Talking about practice, not a game.
Talking practice. 4.
Am I forgetting somebody? Like I can only see 3 names. Oh no, I see.
Okay, you found it. I was gonna say if you're missing this one guy.
So next will be Mike Trout.
Wow. Okay, 3, 2, and 1.
Julius, Kobe, Wilt.
Okay. You all are on crack.
Don't tell anybody that.
Oh, man.
Can you see in the back?
Okay. My ranking. 20 and 19 are the Morris twins.
Fair.
Close number 18 is Vince Papali. Just because they made a movie out of it and I didn't like it that much, it's Rocky at 17. Now the real.
Wow.
And now
Wow.
My dad's gonna hate me for saying that.
Every dad's gonna hate you for saying that.
Number 16, since it's a joke at this point, I'm gonna put Jameer Nelson. Okay, 16, not 15. God dang it. All right, 15 and 14. Just because I don't watch baseball that much. Bryce Harper is gonna be at 15. Mike Piazza is gonna be at 14. You're lucky I left Mike Trout in there. I would have put him at 13.
I was half expecting you to put Mike Trout in the bottom too.
Just because he got that achievement this past week, I have him a little higher. What am I at? 13? 13. Oh God, this is hard now. 13 is going to be Joe Frazier. 12. I don't know who Marvin. Oh wait, I do know who Marvin Harrison is.
What do you mean you don't know who that is?
I do.
Wide receiver for the Colts?
I do. Okay, he's gonna be in my top 10. Okay. What am I at? 12.
So you don't like baseball, but your bias is putting Shane Victorino in the top 10?
I didn't say that.
Well, he's not in there yet.
Don't worry. 12 is gonna be Kyle Lowry, and then it'll be Shane. 10.
I like how you put Victorino before like Bryce Harper and Piazza, like 2 bona fide like MVP.
Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
You gave me crap for putting Shane Victorino at 12, and you would just put him at 11. So
don't judge me. Because before my favorites, it's Hawaii Boys first, and then it's my favorites. But I had to put him at 11 because there's a lot of people. I don't know why Matt Ryan's here. He bombed the 25-point lead.
Hey man, you can't put that all on him. Anaheim was.
I'm putting him at 10.
Had a big doing in blowing 2 Super Bowl leads.
I'm putting him at 10.
Sorry, Kris.
It was great, which could have made the adjustment.
Okay, Matt Ryan is at 10. Number 9 is Mike Trout. 8 is Elena Deladon.
The only
7
person
is
who actually
Carly.
knew who that was.
I know, right? 7 is Carly Lloyd.
Sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I have Will Chamberlain and Kobe Bryant, Rasheed Wallace, Marvin Harrison, Allen Iverson, Julius Erving, and Allen Iverson. What did I just have? 7? 6 is going to be
You're
Marvin.
on 6.
Yeah, 6 is going to be Marvin Harrison. You can already tell I'm a big fan of the NBA. Number 5.
Yes.
Yeah, number 5 is Rasheed. Number 4 is Allen.
I already know who your number 1 is.
We all know who his number 1 is.
Number 3 is Wilt. 2 is Julius, and number 1 is Kobe. Surprise? No.
1. People who are just tuning this for the first podcast already knew Kobe was going to be number 1.
People who have met you already know who's going to be number 1.
No, because my number 1 would literally
Zion
be LeBron.
Williamson. There's nothing to do with it.
You ask that to Michelle, she'll probably be like, yes, Zion. That's another story.
Maybe.
All right, I'll read this off. Number 20 for Mike, is Vince. And then it goes, where's your 19? Jameer Nelson, Markeith and Marcus Morris, Elena Deladon, just because you didn't know her, Mike Piazza, Rasheed Wallace, where's 13? Rocky Balboa, Shane Victorino, 11. Oh my God.
Carly Lloyd.
Oh wow, that's really though. Just because you didn't know her.
I know who Carly Lloyd is.
Oh, okay.
I just don't watch soccer that much, so I don't.
Neither do I.
I mean, I'll put Julie Ertz on there too.
Wow. Okay, number 10.
Hey, she's repping Santa Clara.
Yep. Number 10 is Kyle Lowry. 9 is Marvin Harrison. 8, Joe Frazier. 7, Matt Ryan. 6, Bryce Harper. 5, Mike Trout. I'm surprised he's not like in your top 3, honestly. 4, Kobe. 3, Allen Iverson. 2, Julius Erving. And number 1 is Will Chamberlain. Not all of, I mean, some of us are the same. Not all of us, except for the Marquise Morris twins, and then obviously Vince McCauley. Kris, do you want to explain your list, honestly?
A guest. There's not much to explain.
Well, thank you, Mike, for joining us today. A lot of knowledge about Philly sports and a lot of getting to know you, really. Is there anything you want to say to the fans?
What up? Thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate it. Definitely gonna continue to listen/watch your other ones and see how weird our other coworkers are.
Well, we hope to have you on another episode of our podcast in the near future. With that being said, guys, like and share this video. Comment down below on your favorite news and sports, any opinions that you have that we will take on so graciously. Also, subscribe to our channel because the more you subscribe, the more you get to watch us. And with that being said, guys, I'll see you next time.
Don't forget to hit that bell icon.